All right. Good morning, everybody. We're just waiting on Mr. Jimenez to come in. For now, we have a good fill-in. Rudy Campos Jr. is going to be joining us here as we come in right out the gate. Rudy, what's going on, man?
What's up, Joe? How's everybody doing out there?
We're doing good, man. Like I said, we're about a minute out before the show starts. Mike called in to work late. Should we go ahead and punish him? What should his punishment be for coming in late today?
Oh no, the guy just doesn't seem to be affected or fazed by anything. So I mean, you could give him the old dick twist if you want to see how that works out.
You know what? Maybe we should punish him by making him eat some of his cultural food. It's too ethnic for him. Maybe they force him to eat a pork tamale.
I don't, I haven't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a regular listener, but I've seen some of the comments, and I mean, I get being Hispanic and not maybe liking Hispanic food. I don't understand it because that's just kind of dumb in my opinion. But maybe you should have him eat tamales,
Menudo.
enchiladas, menudo, and have him eat it while listening to Tejano music.
There you go.
That's just terrible, man.
Chris Gonzalez, make him sing a Tejano song.
Yeah,
Make
I
him
wonder.
sing some Raulito.
I was gonna say, has he ever tried to grito on the air or anything?
Nah,
'Cause
Mike ain't gonna do no grito on the air.
the balls haven't dropped on Jimenez,
No,
so
man,
you're
not
not gonna
yet.
do it.
So we're live from beautiful West Bear County here. This is your host, Joe Garcia. I'm joined right now by the one and only Rudy Campos Jr. from Sweep the League. What's up, Rudy?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just kind of walking outside here at the office.
Yeah, well, Mike, he's calling in to work late, man. So he just let us know that he's going to be a few minutes late, so he's going to be walking in as we're already into the show. But right out the gate, we have some breaking news here. It's being reported that the Dallas Cowboys may not be extending one Dakota Rain Prescott. And what are the implications for the Dallas Cowboys if they do not sign or come to terms with Dak, which is what the rumors are saying right now? It's being reported by NFL Network's Ian Rapoport that the Cowboys have a mutual understanding of the current situation or the contract status with Dak Prescott. If they do not extend Dak, the Cowboys could essentially be taking a $95 million hard cap hit. That's monumental, Rudy.
It's monumental, but I mean, it's a statement that they're making, and you can blame them, but you can't blame them. I mean, they obviously haven't won anything with Dak at quarterback, so this is kind of a wait and see type of thing for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. You want to see what he can do this year, and again, it's kind of hard when you want to see what you can do when you haven't really given him anything more than what he had last year. And if by some perspectives, Joe, you've gone less because you don't have Tony Pollard, so you really don't have a running back. But the thing is that you don't get a franchise quarterback, and I hate using that word franchise quarterback loosely with Dak Prescott. You don't get a franchise quarterback all the time. Who else out there, are you going to be able to get to lead the Dallas Cowboys? You're going to have to maybe go to a veteran or possibly, draft a quarterback in this year's draft if you can manage to get one of the good ones in hopes that he's able to replace that, because Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, a lot of these guys, Justin Herbert, they're signed to well into like 2028, I believe. So it's not like they're going to be available. So I don't get how you don't extend him a little bit, but at the same time, it doesn't mean they're not going to be able to sign him at the end of the season. It's just the chances of them signing him at the end of the season have greatly diminished a little bit more.
They have, man, but everybody's in the chat right now and they're telling me, "What up, Joe?" Mario Cavasso says, "Joe, your dream come true. They haven't extended Dak." So that is true, man. I mean, I'd said if the Cowboys go ahead and extend Dakota Rain Prescott, I'd be done with them. As is right now, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be cheering for the Houston Texans this year. The Cowboys are going to be my Sancha team. I don't believe in the Cowboys. They've let me down too many times. I've had enough. If the Cowboys do not, let's say, extend one Dakota Rain Prescott, I think it's something that needs to happen. But taking that $95 million hard cap hit,
it happens a lot more than you think, Joe.
I mean, that's a lot of money, Rudy. That's a lot of money.
The thing is that you can also like spread that out a little bit more.
You could.
but it's also, but you gotta look at it like this too. I understand the frustrations you as well as Cowboy fans have with Dak Prescott. I mean, as a non-Cowboy fan, I get it, and about I also see this. Look at it this way: people want. It also goes for Spurs fandom. People want change. Well, it is change to say, look, we're not going to extend you because you know what? We don't know if you're actually the guy. And if you're not the guy, then we're not going to commit another 4 or 5 years of guaranteed money to hope that you are the guy 4 or 5 years from now. So in essence, it's actually a good thing for Cowboy fandom because you just eat the loss and you try to find a quarterback that'll get the job done. And that's essentially what you and other Cowboy fans are asking for. I'm thinking is you want the guy, to get a guy that's going to get the job done.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Cowboy fans have been waiting to get back to the promised land for quite some time. And it appears that, Jerry Jones always makes the wrong decisions, extending Dak, extending Ezekiel Elliott at a time when he could have moved on and possibly went after a more, let's say, seasoned quarterback. You at the time, he could have went after, let's say, Tom Brady, but he chose not to. He could have went after some other bigger name quarterbacks, but he chose not to. Right now, Jerry Jones is in a bad way. You've already extended Dak. Now you have the consequences coming up. Where if you don't extend him, what do? You leave the team in limbo. Are they going to suck even more? Kind of just let the chips fall where they may. Do you go ahead and go with the QB that you have as a backup right now, or do you go ahead and extend Dak and just take the bath, take the cap hit, and then what happens? I mean, you really can't extend anybody else because at that point, there's not enough money to go around. The Cowboys are already starting to feel the pinch, Rudy. So they're in a very, very bad way right now. Let's put it like that. They don't
Yeah.
have the talent on this team to contend because they can't keep them. They do have some. They do have a receiver. They do have somewhat of a line, I mean, they do have a decent enough secondary, but it's not elite. You can see that, especially when they get into the playoffs, the wild card, for example. You saw what happened to them when they met the Green Bay Packers. You saw
Yeah.
when they competed against the 49ers. When they're going up against the elite team, they just don't have the pieces to contend.
Yeah, and it sucks because you can probably say, well, the easiest bet is to find a better QB than Dak Prescott. But at this point, there's man, I can't believe I'm saying this, being
Oh
positive
God.
about Dak Prescott and Cowboys. But at this point, there's nobody out there or anybody you can go trade for that's better than Prescott. Like I said, a lot of the guys that are better than Prescott are not available and they won't be available. I mean, maybe one guy that people aren't talking about is Justin Herbert. I mean, he pretty much had his whole entire offense gutted. He's left with Quentin Johnson and possibly drafting Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. For this season. But I mean, Justin Herbert is probably one guy that you could maybe inquire about a trade. Is he an upgrade over Dak Prescott? Well,
Yeah.
100% he is. He's an upgrade over Dak Prescott. But are the Chargers actually going to give up on Justin Herbert? Probably not. Not right now. But at the end of the day, there's nobody better than Dak Prescott out there for the Dallas Cowboys right now. But not extending him is not a bad thing. It's actually a bold move by Jerry Jones, basically saying, you know what, we'd love to give you the money you want, but we've got to see more production from you on the field. And this is kind of like a hit or miss type season for Dak.
Yeah, I guess this is Jerry Jones saying he's all in.
What's
Hey, it
up,
could be.
Rudy? What's going on, my man? How have
Hey,
you been?
what's going on? My good
Hey,
man.
we're talking about your punishment for coming in late today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make
No
you eat
dick
either a
twist.
bowl of menudo or a pork tamale.
I'll take the port tamale because that'll just take 2 seconds, right?
Oh God, and then you'll spit it out.
Yeah, port tamales suck, man. There's so many other better kinds of tamales, and people go for the pork all the time. I don't get it.
Pork is good, bro.
I
I'm
don't
just
get
telling
it.
you, man.
Hey, I apologize for being late, everybody, but work called and it took a little
Yeah.
while to get in here. It's raining. That's also part
I
of the reason
know,
why I
dude.
was
It's
late.
weird, man. It's springtime and it's raining. It seems like it's raining every other day.
And are my dogs outside? Yes,
Probably.
they are. You know why? Because they're animals. They need to be outside.
Oh
They need
my.
to be outside part of the day. Okay.
Jeez, bro.
But I heard the conversation you guys were having about Dak Prescott, and it's so funny because I was coming at it from two different directions. I understand both sides. And now I understand what Jerry Jones means by when he says we're going all in.
All in.
Because it is this year or nothing.
95 mil.
We talked about this, and I mentioned this the moment the Cowboys lost to the Packers was that the window was closed. The window was closed.
No, the window was closed, boarded up, wood put over it, everything.
They are not
closed.
a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah.
So I get it, because if they do extend Dak, they're basically marrying Dak for the next 5 or 6 years.
What are they going to do?
Even if it's a 3-year deal, it's still a 6-year deal because it's just being piecemealed, and that cap hit will always loom somewhere down the road.
Yeah. Look at what Mario Cavasso says. He says they have Trey Lance, who has the potential to be better than Dak. What do you think, Rudy?
No, Trey Lance is not any. He's not a guy that you can build a franchise around. He's a backup quarterback, and
he's not a Brock Purdy.
No, that's once in a few. You're not going to get very many Brock Purdy's. But even at that, I mean, Brock Purdy, you can't even consider him elite or anything like that right now. I mean, he's in the quarterback whispers, type coaching staff. So I can say that Trey Lance comfortably is not the guy that you're going to build around. But by not extending Dak, you are setting that precedence. Like, well, we're probably going to have to go with Trey Lance after this, because who else, like I said, who else are you going to get if you allow Dak to walk? And that's very possible that Dak can walk next year. Knowing he's still owed money by the Cowboys, he can go easily do, a Russell Wilson type deal or something where I'll play for the vet minimum because I'm still getting paid by Dallas. So
and he can choose the team at that point. And
exactly.
let's talk about a couple of things. So let's hold that thought for a second, real fast. The fact of the matter is that if the Cowboys do let him walk, it's a hard reset. It's telling the fans that, hey, man, Dak was not the guy for us.
Oops.
But the question is Dak the right guy for someone else? Is he the right guy for a different team? Because when you look around the NFL, could you put him in there as essentially you call it the veterans minimum? Really, to me, it's kind of like the rookie deal.
Yeah.
Where right now the Houston Texans, because of CJ Stroud and the fact that they're only paying him $9 million a year, can actually go off and spend money elsewhere. So let's talk about the fact that let's go ahead and project the fact that he leaves at the end of this year.
I hope he goes to the Falcons, bro.
Well, the Falcons already paid a lot of money to Kirk Cousins.
I know, man. I'm just playing with Rudy.
So I'm going to give you the names of teams that I think could be possibilities. It's not. I'm going to go from the AFC all the way down. It's not Buffalo. It's not Miami, right? The Jets.
I got one. I wonder if you're going to hit on that, but I got one.
Okay,
the Saints.
I've got 4 or 5. The Saints are one, actually.
Yeah.
The Jets. It's a New York market. He's already used to the bright lights.
They still got Aaron Rodgers over there, man.
Aaron Rodgers is like 85 years old, and he won't be there anymore.
He's got one leg.
He signed a 2-year deal, so this is his last season. So Aaron Rodgers is gone. I think the Jets are probably the front runners in my eyes right now. The Patriots, he's not going to go play in the cold. Okay, I know it's cold in New York, but that's New York, right? He's not going to go to Foxborough and go play for the Patriots.
The frozen tundra over there.
It's not going to be the Ravens. It's not going to be the Browns. The Steelers already have a couple of quarterbacks out that they're trying to figure out. It's not going to be Burrow. It's not going to be the Texans. It's not going to be the Jaguars. He's not going to want to go to Indy. Tennessee is not it. He's not going to go to Kansas City. The Raiders.
Vegas, baby.
That's a very good one right there. It's not going to be the Broncos. It's not going to play in the snow. Is he going to go to the Chargers? No, because they've got, Kellen Moore's there.
Yeah.
But they already have a better quarterback there.
Yeah. Or would they want to downgrade?
It's not going to be the Eagles. I don't think you would want to go to the Giants. The Giants are a cluster F of a team.
That'd be sacrilege.
The Commanders are a cluster F of a team. The Lions already got their guy. The Packers got their guy. I don't think you'd want to play for the Vikings. The Bears, they're gonna.
You know what? I hope he does go to the Vikings, so Big Papi Brandon Medina can wear his Dakota Rain Prescott jersey here in studio.
The Buccaneers, they seem to be enamored with Baker Mayfield, and they're not having to pay him $60-70 million.
No.
The Saints. That's a legitimate.
What about your boy
one.
Carr? You ain't rolling with him?
Well, Carr. Well, first of all, Dak is a better quarterback than Carr, And if
I
you
like the pause when you said the Saints because that's somebody's team, if I'm not mistaken.
well, I mean, you have to ask yourself the question: the depth chart of the Saints,
Yeah.
and do the Saints have the type of offense that would be interesting for him? So last year's depth chart here, let's say you insert him with Alvin Kamara and Kendre Miller at running back, and you have Chris Olave, you've got Rashid Shaheed, decent receivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that they go get Brock Bowers out of Georgia, tight end, in the first round. That's a seamless transition. And then you have the wild card in Taysom Hill running all over the place. Taysom Hill, who never gets old for some reason. I think that's a legitimate spot. I think we've landed on 3 teams. Who do you say? The Jets, the Raiders, and the Saints.
Yeah.
So I will go.
Go ahead. Go.
No, I was going to say I'll give you 2 teams. Now, both of them are far-fetched, but if you really look at the landscape of the team, where does he fit the best? One of them he fits perfectly, and I think it makes them ideally way better. And again, I'm going to get a lot of flack for a lot of this shit, but oh well. The one team that he fits perfectly on, and I would say is okay, they're contenders now, but they could be contenders for the future. That's the San Francisco 49ers. You've got an elite defense. You've got an offensive line that's built. You've got a running back that is both pass catch happy, and can burst through the hole. You've got 2 magnificent wide receivers in Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. You've got a tight end in George Kittle who can block and who also can be obviously one of the best tight ends in catching as well. What more do you need outside of the fact that you have Kyle Shanahan there too as well? The perfect situation for Dak Prescott is in San Francisco. The ideal situation probably is either one of 2 teams. That's the Washington Commanders, because again, you've got receivers. You're going to build on a defense there. You've got a decent offensive line. You can get a better running game. But the reason why I say is because Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator there. Another quarterback whisperer, another guy that can help Dak become the better version of Dak Prescott. So Washington definitely is a team. Plus, you get to stick it to the Cowboys 2 times a year. So
I
those
got
2 teams are big.
Rudy Campos Jr.
Yeah.
with us right now. By the way, I enjoy a hot take. And the
There you
hot
go.
take going to San Francisco, I mean, I see where you're going. I'm not going to say that it's a bad take because it's hot. It's hot. Okay. That is worth a segment on ESPN's First Take. Okay.
Look at this one right here. I like this comment.
Right. Asking the question, what about Dak in Seattle? That's actually another good option there.
That's a good option.
But the reason why
Dakless in Seattle, like sleepless in Seattle.
Nice. That's only when he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But the problem with him going to a team like San Francisco is I think that they're already in love with Brock Purdy. I think they've already committed to him. And I think it would be a bad PR move over there. And I don't think the Niners would do it. The problem with going to the Washington Commanders is that they play in cold weather and they play on grass. That's why when you look at teams like New Orleans, when you look at a team like the Jets, they all have something in common. When you look at the Raiders, they have something in common. They play in a dome. They play on AstroTurf or whatever that turf is called, whatever they use these days. That is how they play. Look at the Cowboys record when they play on turf versus grass. They're a completely different team. We talk about how the Spurs are a different team when Wemby's on the court, when he's off the court. That is the Cowboys when they're on grass versus when they're on turf. So I'm going to stick to my guns on this one and say the Jets, the Raiders, and the Saints are the most likely candidates. I think a wild card of you saying the Niners is a fascinating conversation. But I think it's such
the problem. That's the ideal thing.
It's such a bad PR move. Now the other team that I can think of, I think Seattle and Arizona would be interesting. Arizona, especially if they get like a stud wide receiver this year in the draft, and they improve their offensive roster. But Dak would want to go with some place that has at least a decent defense. And because again, he likes to play. He's a good front runner. But I find this to be interesting. Dak to Arizona. Jonathan C is asking that question right now.
There you go.
Ask yourself the question: How many quarterbacks in the NFL or how many teams in the NFL are locked into their guy? Like, I can see Miami moving on. If you're saying a playoff team, I don't think it's San Francisco. I think it's Miami that would say we'd rather have Dak than Tua. I can see that.
Honestly, Mike, there's only, off the top of my head, maybe 4, 5 teams that are locked into their guy. I would say, and you're usually Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, and the Chargers. I would say are probably the only 4 teams that I would say are locked into their guy, which you can call about them, but they're not going to move on from them unless you give them just absolute fool's gold.
Well, part of being locked in is not only being locked in because they like the talent that they have, but it's also being locked in based on the contract situation. Yeah, it'd be great to upgrade and get Dak for a lot of teams, but if that means that they have a dead cap hit because they owe Kirk Cousins money or they owe Baker Mayfield money, yeah, you're getting an upgrade, but then now you're getting a hit. The question for me is like, what is the seamless transition? The Saints and the Jets are seamless transitions because Derek Carr's deal is up, right? He's restructured his deal, but for the most part, it's up, and not much is owed on the back end. I think only like $30 million at the end of this season is owed on the back end. Aaron Rodgers, his contract is literally up this year. I think if there's a front runner, it'd be the Jets. To play on turf, it's in a big market, big name, publicity, all that stuff. I think the Jets are the front runner. I would put the Raiders at 2. I'd put the Saints at 3. And I would put Seattle at 4. That's how I would rank it. Where would you rank them?
Me, I would say, I think for me, the one team that, obviously the one I say San Francisco, it's a perfect spot for him. It's not an ideal spot where he's going to go. Obviously, they're invested in Brock Purdy, but I mean, when you're owed $95 million at the end of this year, if you're not re-signed, I mean, you can literally go anywhere. Say, give me 3 years, $5 million a year. I don't care because I'm getting paid by Dallas. But San Francisco's the perfect spot. If I'm ranking teams, I still have Washington up there around 1 or 2. I do like the Raiders because I mean, you're pairing them with a good receiving core. They got a really good defense there as well. So I would put the Raiders at 1 or 2 as well. After that, I mean, it's almost like I like the Seattle fit for him.
Yeah.
But playing in the rain is one thing that I'm kind of iffy with. It's something with elements with Dak that I really don't know. But Seattle's also up there. Outside of that, I mean, I could see the Saints, but I mean, again, the Saints are the offensive line. That's the other problem that I have with the New York Jets. It's the offensive line. I mean, they're going to have to really build up that offensive line in order for Dak to be effective. And that's something that, as we see with the Cowboys, as their offensive line, is decimated, he tends to struggle more because he can't stay in the pocket long.
I think the Jets are the number 1 contender because he wants to be in that market. I think he wants to be a big name. I mean, he is the star of the star team. I'm looking right now at Spotrac.com, and it's listing all the unrestricted free agents that are quarterbacks in the year 2025. So not this season, but next season. Russell Wilson is a free agent, unrestricted. Dak Prescott is an unrestricted free agent. So is, and I did not realize this, Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. That's an indoor team too. They've got some stud players all around that.
Goff is a better quarterback than Dak.
Well, no, he's not.
Come on.
No, he's
more successful.
More successful, but I don't think he's a better quarterback. Jimmy G goes off the books for the Raiders.
That's true.
Jimmy G's
he's been off the books since he was drafted. Don't worry about that.
Other teams that have unrestricted free agents. Trevor Lawrence is a free agent that year. Jordan Love is a free agent that year. Trey Lance is as well. So the Cowboys would have no quarterbacks at that point. Other quarterbacks are also coming off is Justin Fields. So, wow. Knowing that, Detroit, that's a built-in good team. Seattle, that's a good team. I think we're probably down to about 7 teams. And the the question becomes, Rudy, do you think Dak is about winning, or do you think he's about the name?
I would say that it's probably more about the name than winning. You know, if you're going to win in this league, I go by the Tom Brady rule. I go by a lot of these rules as a quarterback where, yay, I got paid, but you know what? At the same time, Brady and Duncan understand that they need more than just their arm to win the game. So they tend to restructure deals or take less money to win. And that's the key word, is to win right there, win. And I think Dak is more about the name than anything else. That's why I'm saying if you feel he's going to New York, I mean, great. He's a Jet. He's in the big market. Does it do anything for the Jets? No, it doesn't move the needle any more than what Aaron Rodgers did. And Aaron Rodgers is a way better quarterback than Dak. So for me, it's about the name. It's never about the win. I see more bullshit on the field with Dak and more head scratching plays that makes me say this guy is truly in it to win it.
Now, I was listening to Yahoo Sports earlier today, and they brought up a very interesting point. And this involves what the Cowboys should do immediately. And they posed the question, why take a $95 million cap hit next year when you can take a $60 million cap hit this year?
Yeah.
And basically saying, if he's not the guy, why are we going to roll the dice one more time? Have the media circus of, can you believe this guy is not under contract? What are we doing? Is he going to extend? Oh my God, he's having an MVP caliber season yet again. How much is it going to cost to keep him? We could have gotten him at 55. Now we're going to have to get him at 65. He's a free agent. Why not just rip the Band-Aid right now, take the $65 million cap hit or $59 million cap hit, and just move on? If ultimately that's what you're going to do, and that gives you an opportunity to maybe see what Trey Lance has, if anything at all. And
why not draft a QB this year? I mean, there's at least 6, 7 QBs that are, I won't say elite, but can at least bridge you for a while till you get that next franchise quarterback.
That's right. I mean, Jerry Jones is such a bad general manager. Okay. First of all, he shouldn't be a general manager. And this is the thing about Jerry Jones that I find to be fascinating, is the fact that when he bought the Cowboys, late 80s, it was his toy. Jerry Jones is basically Elon Musk. He bought it as a toy. No different than Elon buying Twitter for $44 billion. He bought it as a toy. And he inserted himself with no credentials other than being a fan. He inserted himself as general manager. The Cowboys, prior to all that, had traded, Herschel Walker for
a blockbuster
trade for a load of picks. The best thing that Jerry Jones did was he hired Jimmy Johnson.
They fired his ass.
They fired Tom Landry, brought in Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy brought glory to the Cowboys. And here's the thing. I asked the question to Spurs fans because, I have a thing about Pop where I love Pop. He's one of the GOATs, but it's time to move on, right? I call him washed because he is.
Oh, man.
And I asked the question to somebody the other day, and it was a Spurs fan. He was also a Cowboy fan. And I asked the question, could Tom Landry have led the Cowboys to Super Bowl victories in 92, 93, and 95, or whatever years they were? And he goes, yes. I was like, bullshit. No, he wouldn't have. Because you need a certain skill set to handle those personalities. Just because you are a good coach or a great coach or a legendary coach doesn't mean that you're the guy for every situation. And that's my thing about Pop with the Spurs. I don't think he's the right guy right now. Yes, he's great. But, you take a look at the NFL right now with DeMeco Ryans with the Houston Texans. They would rather have DeMeco Ryans than Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah.
So going to the Cowboys, though, Jerry Jones got Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson got the 3 rings, got the iconic line of, how about them Cowboys? And Jerry Jones who is like Elon Musk, is a narcissist. And how dare you have the spotlight on Jimmy when this is my team? So see what he did. Jerry Jones hired the right coach at the right time, then got rid of him. And Barry Switzer was managed to win a title because he happened to have all the cards in the deck. You know, all the aces and kings and queens and jacks were all right there, right? He won with Jimmy's team. When he reinserted himself, with Mark Jackson's team.
Yeah.
When reinserted himself into there, we now see what Jerry Jones is. Jerry Jones is a narcissistic owner who is treating this as a toy. And because he's treating this team as a toy, we've seen what has happened, what has transpired over the past 28 years, which is a lot of nothing. And they are a brand. That's all that they are. Yahoo Sports earlier today, there was a reporter asking the question. They asked the reporter the question, and she's an NFL insider for the Cowboys. And they asked the question about Bill Belichick. They go, you know Bill Belichick. Would Bill Belichick want to come in and come to this team? Let's say that they don't make the playoffs this year, or Dak doesn't re-sign, and they get rid of Mike McCarthy. She goes, Bill Belichick would never walk in these doors because it's a zoo.
Yeah, it's a shit show, dude.
It is a zoo. It is a fever dream out there. They treat it like a casino. We saw that with Dalton Schultz when he got interviewed on the Pat McAfee show a few weeks back. And they asked about what's the difference between being a Cowboy versus a Texan. And he goes, well, when I'm a Texan, we talk about football.
Yeah.
And it's a football atmosphere. He goes, it's a circus over there in Dallas. There's a culture problem. There's a brain drain over there because Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones are not the brightest people in the NFL.
No, they got a lot of money.
They just know how to sell shit. They're the greatest salespeople in the world. Sorry, I had to get off my soapbox there for a little minute.
You better now? You all right?
I feel better. And I'm not even a fan. Why am I offended on behalf of Cowboy fan?
Now you know my frustration. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. I'm just living in Cowboy country.
Yeah.
So I have to deal with it. But, the wife being a Cowboy fan, I've always said if I want to stay married, I have to cheer for them silently.
Well, brutal.
In all honesty, Rudy ain't been the same since the Falcons blew it in the Super Bowl, man.
You know what? I don't get me started on that one. I feel bad, dude. I feel bad for that because so much happened. You know what? If it was a regular game, that Falcons team would have destroyed them. But they were the offense was off the field for like an hour and 20 minutes because of the Patriots getting the ball last, the long ass Super Bowl halftime show. Then you have the Patriots getting the ball again. They were cold by the time they came out there. There was a lot going on with bad offensive play calling on top of it all, but
yeah.
But man, I will never make fun of a Falcon fan for that, even though they're in the same division, NFC South, as my Saints, and I should make fun of them. I can't because that is painful. I know what it's like because I experienced the 2013 NBA Finals.
Yeah, true enough,
I know what it's like.
But you know what? Yeah. Even though the Falcons they shit the bed in the Super Bowl, Rudy's still a fan, so he's a diehard man.
You know what? I've already made peace with God. Him and I went face to face, and I told him, I understand I'm gonna die without ever seeing a Super Bowl from the Falcons. I just accepted it. So
I picture
I'm just here for the ride.
I picture Rudy Campos Jr. Like Forrest Gump, he making his peace with God. Up on the top of the boat.
That's saying, all you got.
It's you and me. That's all you got.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I definitely have sat in that chair and said, you know what, I'm gonna die, Super Bowl-less. So, but one thing I won't ever do is I won't ever change my fandom. So that's me right there.
Yeah, hey, but there's brighter days going on over there in Atlanta. You guys have Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying that as a joke.
Primo.
He's fine. He'll get you to the playoffs.
That as a joke, but okay. I mean, I love Kirk Cousins to death. He's going to help the Falcons to a division title, at best. Will they go to the Super Bowl? I don't see it. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a Band-Aid where we need
the respect that Kirk Cousins has in the NFL. His teammates love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Great guy, great locker room guy, teammate guy. And you know what?
He's talented too.
I can comfortably say he can get your organization on the right path. And if he's known for one thing in the NFL, it's one thing only. This man gets paid, and we have no idea why.
He gets paid. And on top of that, I mean, he's a talented guy, man. And he's going to get, you're going to find out whether Kyle Pitts is legit or not. Because if Kyle Pitts sucks with a quarterback like Kirk Cousins there, then Kyle Pitts was just a bust. But he'll get Bijan the touches that he needs. And I think that he's also the quarterback that would also say, no. This play calling is crap. I know what I should be doing in this situation. You know, so there's a kind of another adult in the room on the field. Yeah. And I think that that's a good thing. By the way, CBS Sports just released right now its latest mock draft for the NFL draft, which is coming up next month, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. They have the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams. Dude, why did Justin Fields get treated like crap, but Caleb Williams is going to be walking into a situation where he's got like stud receivers and he's got decent running backs? I don't understand this, but Justin Fields would have thrived in that system, by the way that they have it now. Caleb Williams.
Bears would have been NFC title game at least, I think, with Justin Fields there. And to be honest, the reason why Chicago – and, okay, I'm going to be real with you, Mike. There's no guarantee that they take Caleb Williams one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that right now. There's no guarantee. There's still a possibility trading down. There's even possibilities of them. I've even heard possibilities of them taking Jaden Daniels, number one. So it's possibility that Caleb is not number one. But when you've got a lot of analysts and a lot of media people pushing the narrative for Caleb Williams and using the two words Patrick Mahomes comparison, that's what they're thinking. Well, we can't mess up. You know, we already screwed the Mahomes train one time by taking Trubisky over Mahomes. We can't miss out on that again. To me, it's total BS. I mean, you're going to get a better quarterback later on in the draft than you will in probably the first three guys. These first three guys are the guys that everybody gets talked about, but they all have flaws in them that will not make them the Patrick Mahomes type quarterbacks. So by all means, the Bears, do what you want. You know, if you want Caleb Williams, take Caleb Williams. You've obviously set him up for success on the offensive side, with the exception of the offensive line. But again, once he starts going through the motions and everything, is he going to be able to make plays in the NFL where it is 10, 20 times faster than it is in college? And you saw how much he struggled in college.
Hey, Rudy, I got to tell you, man, because me, you, and Ben Bornstein, we have this running joke, right, where we say they can't fit Brian Windhorst in his square. Miracles have happened, Rudy. I'm watching a little excerpt from First Take, and they actually managed to fit him in his square this time, dude. They had the camera on max zoom out.
do you know what the funny thing about Patrick Mahomes is? Well, first of all, the sad part is that in the 2017 draft, the Saints wanted him, and the Saints were ready to take him at number 11, but the Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes at number 10. Who did the Chiefs trade to? Who did they get Patrick Mahomes from? The Buffalo Bills.
Oh, man.
The Buffalo Bills, who have a hard time getting past the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Why do the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes? It's because the Bills traded their pick to the Chiefs for the Chiefs to go get him. That is funny. But going on to the rest of the mock draft, Jaden Daniels going to, according to CBS Sports, to the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is a lot more talented than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, I hope he becomes a bust. I just hate that guy's attitude. I hate his dad now. Dude. The guy comes off like just a complete arrogant asshole. The movie Draft Day, he's Bo Callahan, right? Jaden Daniels, number 2. Number 3, JJ McCarthy keeps going up the draft, man.
Don't know why.
People are falling in love with him. It's because his former head coach, Harbaugh, coming out saying, this is the guy. And more people are agreeing with that. And the projection is that the New England Patriots would take him at 3. Again, he played at Michigan, and Michigan, cold weather. Foxborough kind of makes sense to me. Number 4, a projected trade saying that the Cardinals would drop down and trade to the Vikings so that the Vikings could get Drake May at 5. At number 5, according to CBS Sports, Marvin Harrison Jr. going to the Chargers, who got rid of Keenan Allen. So that would be the replacement there. Malik Neighbors, the stud receiver from LSU, going number 6 to the Giants. Joe Alt at number 7, offensive tackle to the Titans. Going further back down, the Bears at number 9, taking Jared Verse, an edge out of Florida State. Brock Bowers at 12 to the Denver Broncos, which would piss me off because I have a hard-on for Bowers. They have the Saints taking an offensive tackle, which probably would make sense. It's not sexy, but it would make sense. Byron Murphy from the Texas Longhorns, projected to go to Seattle, a defensive lineman. Cowboys at number 24, projected to take a cornerback out of Clemson named Nate Wiggins. Notice how at number 23, the Houston Texans are no longer there. Do you know how smart that is?
Very smart.
The Texans traded their first-round draft pick for essentially 2 second-rounders. Mm-hmm. That is smart because they're high-end second-rounders, and they don't have to pay them like first-rounders. Yeah. Dude, what the Texans are doing every week that goes by, every move that they make is correct.
It's amazing, right? When you have somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly.
Well, people have got to realize that this draft coming up it's very, very, very deep draft in a lot of positions. So second round picks are going to essentially be first round talent. I mean, in this type of draft. So if you can trade down like you did with the Texans and get multiple picks, it's beneficial in this draft because, you've got, JPJ and then Graham Barton, 2 inside interior linemen that are first round picks that may not go until the second round, which is pretty sad. If the Cowboys are listening, which I know they do, one of those guys should be your pick first in the first round, Barton or JPJ, because those guys are what you need on the offensive line. And picks are gold this year. I can just say that picks are gold this year. But nonetheless, I know you and I talked one time earlier about Jaden Daniels. Of the 3 main guys, actually of the 4, I rank Jaden higher. My problem, Mike, is that he can't really take a hit. And that's where I feel if he goes to one of these low-end teams that doesn't have a good offensive line, these hits are going to really hurt him really bad.
Well, let me ask you this. What quarterback can take a hit? I mean, can Brock Purdy take a hit?
Steve Young?
I mean, no quarterback can take a hit. I mean, and
Rudy's got jokes, man.
Yeah, mean, yes, Steve Young a long time ago. But, if you look at the Texas Longhorns, by the way, they have 3 projected first rounders, according to CBS Sports. Byron Murphy, as I mentioned, going to the Seattle Seahawks at number 16.
Adonai Mitchell.
Adonai Mitchell is projected to go number 32 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then one other one as well, Xavier Worthy in his 4.22 40 going to the Arizona Cardinals. Can you imagine if they get Xavier Worthy? They trade down instead of getting Marvin Harrison Jr. Get Xavier Worthy instead and get more draft capital. That would be a pretty decent move there. But we're talking to Rudy Campos Jr., host of Sweep the League here on the Alamo City Podcast Network.
Y'all having a show today in the afternoon, Rudy?
Yeah. So apologize for yesterday. My AT&T at my house has been going down and up and down and up. And
it's the Spectrum internet. It's almost the equivalent of Spectrum.
Yeah, so I need to get a better service out there. But when I move out of the city, it's kind of limited.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, Derek and I are going to be on today. Probably Gio. We're gonna dive into some Twitter shit because the whole Steve Nash and Tony Parker debate that I saw the other day, that had me dying laughing. I needed to get the opposite.
That's ridiculous, bro.
Because to consider Tony Parker better than Steve Nash is probably one of the biggest kick in the nuts I've ever had in my life. So we're going to debate that, and we're going to talk about that on Sweep the League today at 4:00.
Very cool. Hey, let's get that entertainment bump because I just see a story coming up right now.
Sure. Hey, Rudy, I don't know if you can stay with us or you had to bump off.
I want to get his take on this one real fast.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make it quick.
All right.
We'll make it quick.
Believe it or not, the most popular sportscast, the most popular podcast involving sports in the United States is not the Alamo City Sportscast or Sweep the League. It is New Heights, right? Which is Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce. And if you can show my screen right now, on TMZ Sports right now, Jason Kelce, who's now newly retired, is ripping his brother Travis for gaining weight already since the Super Bowl. So there was paparazzi who showed photos of Travis holding hands on the beach in the water with Taylor Swift. And apparently Travis Kelce now has a dad bod. And Travis is saying, it's because I'm on vacation. I'm not working out. Love weight. If there is proof right there that he's actually in love, it is that right there. But he's not as chiseled as before. I wish I was that fat, by the way, because he still looks okay. But
he can still rock the swimsuit.
Right. But his brother, Jason Kelce's looking at Travis going, Travis, you're looking a little pudgy today. What are your thoughts there of Travis Kelce gaining some weight there during the offseason?
No, I have no issues with that at all. I mean, hell, dude, it's the off season. When I was playing sports, I don't remember working out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When it was off season, I was able to let live a little bit. Then I kicked it hard into gear when the season was about to start. I have no problem because, dad bods have been in for a while. I missed the craze. I got married when I was in the Jabba the Hutt phase of my life. So my wife accepted me for that right there. But now that I've worked out and everything, I've heard dad bods are in. So I wanted to get a dad bod before I died. And it's like that one meme they say the last opportunity I have, for a smoking hot body is when they cremate me. I was trying to get that before I died. So luckily I was able to do that.
So we're showing photos right now from TMZ Sports from the paparazzi. What are your thoughts there, Joe? They're making out in the water there in the Bahamas. We got some cheeks here.
I mean,
they're a real couple, aren't they?
They're a real couple. They're in love. He's gaining his love weight there because, I mean, look at what he's doing. He's on the beach. She's drinking. They're going to go and eat. He's just going to want to lay down and cuddle. I mean, come on, bro. He's smitten, man.
He's a smitten.
I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, and I'm going to just say that I don't even, like, when I say fan, I'm talking looks wise. She doesn't really rank high on my hottie list, to be honest with you.
Because I'm saying people here that are from San Antonio, we got a certain type, Rudy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A certain type.
One of my good friends, Anthony, a long time ago, we had a conversation with about, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 guys, right? We were just kind of just talking about celebrities, and somebody brought up Taylor Swift, and I'll never forget, they were all like, "Oh, I don't find her attractive at all. Don't find her attractive at all." He said something to the effect of, if you had her around your arm at a house party, all the girls would hate her and every guy would be checking her out.
Yeah, true enough.
That she's probably hotter in person than this. But, you look at it, I mean, there's different ways of being attractive. There's physically attractive. There's pretty face, great legs, whatever the case may be. There's also the power. There's also the success. I mean, I've gone some places before. Have you ever gone to, like, I don't know, some bar, some club, and they have, like, a girl singing up on stage? And I think to myself, man, that girl's hot because she's got a guitar and she's singing and she's not your type. But for me, I'm like, man, she's smoking hot. And then she gets off the stage and goes to the bar, and I'm like, oh, she's not as attractive anymore. Sometimes that happens. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I'm going with it.
Like Fernandez, our boy, she's ship hot.
For me, if I was ever with Taylor Swift, it's for the money. I wouldn't be for looks or anything like that. I mean, not saying I'm even that attractive a person, but before I go, I'll give you one that a lot of people still bitch at me about, and that's, I don't find Jennifer Lopez attractive.
Well, today, not necessarily anymore.
Even back then, I did not find her attractive. I've never found her attractive. She would have never made any of my lists. That's just me personally.
I will give you the idea that she was overrated. That I will give. Overrated. Yes. She was attractive, but highly overrated.
Both for me. Not attractive to me, and then she was overrated.
Drew Show reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says Taylor Swift is a functional alcoholic Book it. Taylor always be drinking.
Oh God, I like this one from Jesse A. J-Lo is Senora Hot.
I don't know how you would compare J-Lo. To me, it's just like
like J-Lo is not on the same tier as Salma.
No, you know who's still hot?
Yeah,
and still rocking it. Shakira, dude.
Oh my God,
God, bro.
You know what? Shakira might be my number one overall. Like we're still doing the baddie brackets, but if I had to do like my personal number one, like Michael, you can have any of these women fall in love with you. It'd be Shakira.
It
would be Shakira, and it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't be Sydney Sweeney. It wouldn't be Paige Baronic. It wouldn't be anybody else. It would be either Shakira or Ana de Armas. Those are the only two I'd want in love with me.
Mike says these hips don't lie.
My God. You know, it's funny. I have a Samsung TV, and it has when you turn the Samsung TV, it goes directly to their cable channel.
Yeah.
I have it stuck on the 2010s, the 2010s music. And it's so funny because
Nelly Furtado.
Dude, don't get me started on Nelly Furtado, dude.
God.
She's hot. No, but I have it set where when I turn on my TV, which is like the first thing I do in the morning, it plays Vivo music, right?
Yeah.
And it's the 2010s. And it's kind of like I Got You, Babe from Groundhog Day, where you wake up and you hear the same song. I wake up at the same time every day and I turn on the TV and it's the same songs in order. And Shakira is always one of them, dude. And so I wake up to Shakira every morning, just not in the way that I want, you know?
Oh, are you polishing one off? Listening to it?
Wow, that took a turn.
Demon Mike time.
That's Demon Joe. What the hell? Rudy Campos Jr., host of Sweep the League. How can we get a hold of you? How can we follow you on socials?
Yeah, man, just hit up my Twitter. It's at Sweep the League. You can I've always said you can friend request me on Facebook, Rudy Campos Jr., whether I accept it or not. Totally up to me, but send a friend request. You never know. From Monday through Fridays, it's going to be from 4 to about 5 every day. So on the Alamo City Podcast Network.
Very nice. Rudy Campos Jr., my man.
Thanks, Rudy,
Thanks
man.
for being on.
Yeah. Later, guys.
San Antonio Missions got in touch with us today, and apparently we are being approved for media passes to the missions. And I would love to get the stories behind some of these players.
There's a lot of interesting stories there because they come from all over the nation and they have very interesting stories of how they got here.
And they don't make much money, man.
Oh, no, not at all.
Don't. I remember being at VJ Key Field.
Oh, man, back at St. Mary's, dude.
Yeah. Back in the day, they would have a bucket. And if somebody hit a home run, people would put $1 in the bucket.
I remember.
And then they would give it to the player at the end of the game.
$1.
And you know what? And it was probably more than what they made.
Man, that field was so fucking tiny, dude. I mean, compared to where they're playing now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you hit a home run, you might hit a damn car driving on the road, you know?
That's so funny. I used to love going over there, man. And back in the day, I would go there all the time. And my friends' parents would drop us off. And we realized why they were dropping us off over there. It's so that they can go home and bang.
Oh.
You know, they drop us off for 3 hours. Go watch a baseball game.
They said, fuck them kids.
On Twitter, you can follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs Zone. He has a story coming out, and I was excited about this because a friend sent this to me on Kens5.com, talking about your chance to meet my son, Malachi Branham of the San Antonio Spurs. He's going to be in our neighborhood, Joe.
Where's he going to be hanging
at
out?
Taco Bell on 1604 in Potranco, right next to the Walmart that's there. Right next to the across the street from the Planet Fitness.
You mean the Walmart where they had the shooting with the AK-47?
Yes, he'll be there.
Yeah.
So there'll be an autograph session along with the Coyote will be there on Thursday, March 28th, which is tomorrow.
The Coyote is going to be wearing some type of body armor underneath the costume.
Says you can start lining up at the restaurant at 2 p.m. Again, the Taco Bell at 12:38. 11:38, I believe.
That area is already a shit show, dude. With traffic, this is just going to make it worse.
It is. But that's where I normally walk, man. I start my jogs at that Taco Bell, not because I'm eating there, but I do a run from the Taco Bell all the way to the Costco to the Old Navy, through that shopping center to the Flicks Theater.
Yeah.
Sometimes I run around the Flicks, and then I come back up the 1604, back up Petrenko to the Jack in the Box.
It's a good little jog.
If I do the Flicks route, it's about 2 miles. If I don't go to Flicks and I just hug it all the way up to 1604, it's about 1.7.
It's dangerous out there,
twice,
though, man. The people in that area drive like shit, dude.
Yeah, but it's not a shopping center, so I don't really think that bad. I'm not on the street. I'm on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
going up and down. Now, it's sad that I start running up 1604, and people start honking at me for no reason other than they just want to honk. Okay, so back when I was on San Antonio Sports Star, right, I had my show Halftime back in the day. I was going jogging up Petrenko Road one time.
Maybe you're wearing the short shorts, bro.
No, dude, I don't do that, man. I don't John Stockton that up and down. So I'm going up and down, and it sounds stupid, but a guy in a plumbing truck, right? This van, pulls up next to me, and I feel like I need an adult. And he goes, "Hey, I like your radio show." And then he took off.
Oh,
didn't have a conversation. Just wanted to say, I like your radio show. And he noticed that by me jogging. So weird. So weird.
That's creepy, dude. I like your radio show.
I like your hair.
Oh,
I like
Lord.
what you're doing. Let's play that little promo for Jeff Garcia.
Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Again, Jeff Garcia on Twitter and Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Good guy. I owe Jeff Garcia some drinks at Bar 1919. So, Jeff, if you're listening, my man, we're going to go. And this time it's on me, baby. This time it's on me. But again, his article today about Malachi Branham, my son, Taco Bell, tomorrow, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Petrenko Road, just outside of 1604. It's maybe a quarter mile outside of Loop 1604.
Hey, we got a question here. Hanover Fist is asking, and by the way, how's the thirst bracket going?
The thirst bracket? Oh, the baddie bracket. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to get to the Sweet 16 by this week. I need to put at least one more down on there. By the way, Jeff also has an article about how he talked with Zach Collins and Jeremy Sohan about how they defended Kevin Durant. Spurs won a game the other day that they were not expected to win. And there's going to have he also has his Locked On Spurs podcast talking about whether the Spurs are going to be dumping a lot of players or what this upcoming offseason.
Yeah, man. A lot of players are in question, depending on which direction the Spurs want to go.
I saw this meme yesterday. It made me so sad. I got to find it right now. So it was passed around a bit, but the meme was basically talking about what Victor Wembanyama's choices are, the decision-making process that he has to go through. And the meme, which I thought was funny, it shows 5 players from the defensive team looking at Wemby, and Wemby has the ball. So Wemby has the ball, and 5 sets of eyes keyed in on him. And it says, look around the arc, and you have Trey Jones, who's a career 31% three-point shooter, Sohan, a career 28% three-point shooter. You have Jillian Champagny, who belongs on the Shanghai Sharks, is what it says. And it says that you have Zach Collins, who can't make a shot to save his life. And it says, what options does Wemby have? He has no options offensively. And it says the only player that he should be throwing the ball to is C.D. Osman.
He's on the bench.
It was so bad.
Jeez. But, let's go ahead and do a quick shout out to our boy, too, Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work, They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
MCS General Contracting, they say you don't do it cheap, you do it right.
Yeah,
you
hardest
do it
concrete
right
in the business.
That's exactly it, man. What do you got going on this week, man?
This week, we're going to be covering the, I know I'm going to be out there with Big Poppy Brandon Medina at the Techport Center. On Saturday, we're going to be covering that boxing match.
This weekend, I mean, we have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Don't know what I'm going to be doing. Have no idea because part of me says, let's go ahead and do a family lunch for Good Friday, Easter Sunday, things like that. But the weird thing about it is that we've come to the realization that we don't have a lot of little kids anymore in our family.
No.
It used to be do the Easter egg hunts. And right now I have a niece who has a son who's young, who would enjoy an Easter egg hunt. My special needs son, even though he's 22, would love to do Easter egg hunting. But, Gabby, my oldest, is in Louisiana.
Living on her own.
Her cousins are in their 20s.
Yeah.
The days of having an Easter egg hunt might be gone.
Yeah. You think your daughter, your youngest, is going to want to do an Easter egg hunt? She's probably
I think she's indifferent. I think she's indifferent.
If you all put money in those eggs, anybody is going to want to do an Easter egg hunt. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Now, I know some friends who do, like the day before, they do an adult Easter egg hunt, and inside the eggs, a little alcohol.
Fuck that, dude. I'd be putting little bottles of the liquor.
Yeah, no, it's a little Jim Beams in there. That's not bad. We have a super chat coming in right now from the Drew Show, saying that is not a meme. It's cold hard truth. Miserable roster, used up coach, bad GM, who assembled non-shooters, and a terrible owner all need to go. The response that I had of that meme was, it's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true. We had that conversation yesterday about Jeremy Sohan. And it's like, yeah, he knocked down the game-winning shot. And it's like, okay, but he missed 15 or 16 threes in a row leading up to that three. I mean, I'm glad that he knocked that down, but you can't get excited about that and disregard the fact that he had missed 15 out of 16. You can't disregard the fact that he started the season as a 42% three-point shooter. And I told everybody he's going to revert to the mean. And what does that mean? I said, I'd be happy if he's a 34% shooter, right? And where is he at now? 30.9. So it's gone even lower and lower, and he'll probably be in the 20s when it's all said and done. The Spurs don't have talent. That's the problem.
They don't have shooters.
Bushby from Australia, who follows us on Twitter. She now goes by Zed's Dead, which is, by the way, it's a great.
Oh, she's
handle.
still Bushby on Insta.
Okay, which is great. Someone pissed her off yesterday because they said that he's not. Where is this effort coming from when it comes to Sohan? And the question, she says, well, he always has that effort, and I agree with that. I think Sohan probably, out of all the players on the team, probably does the most amount of effort. Right? You can see it in his eyes that he's trying really, really hard. It's just the skill set is not necessarily there.
I think he tries, and I think
Keldon does too.
Vassell tries too.
But everybody else, you can try all day long. You're not going to get good.
Yeah.
Champagny, man, I was really, really high on him this year because we saw what he did in March of last year. I went to these games in Austin, and he was just throwing down. I was like, oh my God, let's get Champagny going, baby. Let's unleash that beast. And instead, he just turned out to be just a dude, man. I hate the line, but I use it all the time. And it's specifically for him. He's out there doing cardio. He's getting his steps in. That's all Champagny does. He doesn't rebound, doesn't score points. Literally, you and I could do that job. Okay? Doesn't play defense. And it's weird because you look at his three-point shooting, and it says that he's a 37% three-point shooter. When? like none of it seems to go in. Was that all in November? When was this going on?
Hey, you know what? We do have some entertainment news I'd like to share too that I just saw. It's been reported that as of yesterday, P. Diddy he sold all his Revolt TV stakes to an anonymous buyer.
Really?
Yeah. So he's stepping down after, I guess, the fiasco that was the feds raiding his homes and whatnot.
Yeah, the feds raided his homes, and he basically said, "F those kids." Right?
I mean, you know what? They had pictures though of after the raids where they went ahead and they let his sons come back, gather their belongings, and leave.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they weren't incarcerated. They were probably just being moved away from the scene so they could go ahead and do their job. But after they got all the evidence that they needed, they let them go back to gather their effects, and they're gone, But Diddy's now selling stakes in businesses that he owns. It's a telling sign that something is amiss. He's trying to raise capital for a certain maybe legal team. He knows he's got a battle in front of him, man.
He's in trouble.
He knows he's in trouble.
He's accused of sex trafficking. He's
drugs,
accused of assault. He's accused of coercing women into sex with people.
It goes
being a
beyond
voyeur and all that stuff.
Yeah, but beyond that, the dude's into drugs. It looks like he's into selling firearms and all that. His drug mule was arrested before they even took flight.
Yeah.
The guy had cocaine, marijuana on him. The feds took him in. I'm just like, man, it's just getting worse and worse, man.
Hey, we have a celebrity birthday to celebrate today. And she posted a photo of herself.
Wow, let's check it out.
Happy 55th birthday to the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is posting a photo of herself on a boat. She is 55 years old today. I will be honest with you. Mariah Carey was one of my top 5 celebrity crushes when I was in high school. First debut album, which was self-titled. Her first single was Vision of Love, followed by Love Takes Time and Someday. Then she came out with the Emotions album, and then she had the Fantasy album and Honey and all that stuff. She was rocking it, man. She had so many hits over the years. She's probably one of the 5 most successful female singers of all time. She's up there on the Mount Rushmore with the, Whitney Houstons of the world.
Yeah, I mean, the girl could sing, man. Especially when she was younger, hitting those high notes, man, the way she did. And she looked hot, dude, back in the day.
Oh, dude,
smoking.
And sometimes it was subtle because, like, when she came out with Vision of Love, it was like, okay, she's cute. And then she did that Someday video where she's doing like the dances inside the elementary school.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh, well, she's kind of cute. And then Emotions, like, all right. And then came the roller coaster Fantasy.
Yeah.
And then you see her kind of dancing on top of the Jeep and all that stuff on the boardwalk, looking great. Then you go beyond that, she became Honey.
Yeah.
When she had the big old black dress and she jumps off the roof into the swimming pool and she pulls the dress off and she's in a skin tight bikini. It was great. And then Heartbreaker with Jay-Z and Jerry O'Connell in that video, and she's in the movie theater. Dude, she brought it hard from like 1993 to 2008. Mariah was elite.
Yeah.
The song Rooftop by Mariah Carey is about her making out with Derek Jeter, by the way.
Derek Jeter's one dirty mofo, bro.
But happy 55 to Mariah Carey. She'll always be 30 in my mind.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's actually going to be my birthday. My birthday.
And what are you turning tomorrow?
Dude, I don't even remember, man.
You're like a year older than me, right?
I think so.
Because I'm 40. I just turned 47 last week.
Yeah, I think I'm a year older than you.
Okay. I forgot. I thought I was turning 48, but
we forget at our age. But you know what's funny, though? That my wife, man, she had been telling people for, I guess, years that I was 48. I'm like, I'm not even 48 yet.
The Drew Show reaches out. This is a great line right here about Mariah Carey. I'm gonna call this up. This is a great way to end the show, saying that Mariah Carey, her perfect look was the jean shorts that she had on in the One Sweet Day video.
Oh yeah,
and I'm calling it up right now.
Let's check it out.
Smoking hot in these shorts, dude. Where is that at? Oh, there you go. I don't want to play the video because I don't want to get us in trouble. But the white top with the jean shorts, One Sweet Day, which was played at basically every funeral in the 1990s. By the way, Fun fact, and I've mentioned it before on this show and on San Antonio Sports Star. The last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl back in February of 2000, or sorry, hasn't been 2000, 1996, the number one song in America was One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men.
Nice, dude. Oh, and it's my niece's birthday, so happy birthday to my little niece, Athena.
Very cool. And
she was almost born on my birthday. I told we had a bet, right, going on when she was going to be born, and I said she's going to be born on my birthday. I told my sister-in-law, you couldn't wait just 3 hours.
Hold it in. my grandnephew, or my is that what it is? A grandnephew. If it's my niece's son, that's my something nephew.
Yeah, family
nephew once removed. Baby David also had his birthday this past weekend as well. March is a good time for babies. Good time for birthdays and things like that. It is 11:30. Again, you can subscribe to us on not only on the YouTube channel as well, but you can buy us a coffee if you want on the QR code on the top left. Thank you for all the super chats. We're now at 762 strong. Every day we're picking up 2 or 3. We're making our march to 1,000. We're going to celebrate. And with the missions now coming into the fold, the guy that runs the PR over there, he likes me. He's a good guy. I think we'll get more and more out there.
I want to see you in a foot race with the Balapino.
Oh my God, I would love that.
That'd be so cool, right?
Dude, did I ever tell you? We'll end it with this story real fast. And I may have told this story on Sports Star back in the day, but I used to play men's league softball all the time.
Oh God.
And I would play at Kennedy Park.
Tall tale time.
Kennedy Field. No, this is not a tall tale that I'm proud of.
Okay.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Kennedy Field. And we'd play at some other place on the northeast side, but mostly it was at Kennedy. And my friends continued playing and I stopped playing. And I was okay. I wasn't good, but I wasn't bad. I was just okay. And I had a friend of mine who's a coworker reach out to me and go, "Hey man, did you ever play softball?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I need an extra player tonight over at Kennedy Field. Can you go?" And I hadn't played in like 4 years, man, 4 or 5 years. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go." So I show up and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, there's enough players. I'll just ride the pine and not even get on the field. He comes up and I'm seeing, these people warming up and he goes, "Hey, you're starting."
Oh man.
I'm like, "What position am I starting at?" And I've played in men's league softball, outfield mostly, second base, maybe third base. He goes first.
Oh,
bro. I'm like, dude, I've never played first base in my entire life.
You gotta be in good shape, man.
I've never, because you have to like stretch out.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, at the time I was probably 30. Okay, so I wasn't like young, but I wasn't old, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't middle age. So we're warming up, and I'm looking at these guys, and these guys are just rifling, like we're doing the warm ups, and the shortstop and the second baseman are just on fire, man. And then you come to find out that they played college baseball.
Oh, God.
So these guys knew how to like throw the ball across the diamond. They were really good, right? So the game starts, and I'm having the game of my life, man. I'm batting 3 for 3. I hit a double. I hit another double. I hit a single. I probably have like 3 RBI. I'm having a great game. So maybe this is a tall tale. On the field, these guys are just throwing rockets at me, and I'm short hop catching them. I mean, I'm having the greatest game of my life, man. I've never played first base in my life, and like even bad throws I'm catching. So a play happens where there's a guy on second base, and I'm on first, and they hadn't hit the ball to me. I'd just been catching the ball that's being thrown from the shortstop or the third baseman or whatnot. They even did double plays in front of me. It was great. So they hit a shot to me pretty hard, right? And I grab it, and I look over at second base. And I'm like trying to like, I don't want him to like go to third. So I'm looking him off. Oh, wait. Reverse. Guy on second base. It was a shot to the shortstop. That was a different play. Shot to the shortstop. The shortstop catches the ball. And again, the guy played college baseball. He can rocket it, right? He stares the guy down at second base. Like, don't go. And then he fires it last second to me. force out at first, the guy is out. But as the ball's coming my way, the guy on second's running to third. And I catch it, I pivot, sidearm it across the diamond. The pitcher ducks across the diamond. Perfect throw into the glove, into the tag, the slide of the runner, and I got him out. Greatest softball game of my life. I jumped up in the air and was like, yeah. And I blew out my hamstring and had to be carried off the field and driven home. Dude, my hamstring like separated itself from me, dude. And I have never played softball ever
been the
again,
same
dude.
sense, man.
Dude, I was in pain. I couldn't walk. And I literally got carried. It was the first time and only time I've ever played sports where I was carried off a field. And not only was I carried off a field,
man.
they carried me to my car. And because it was my right hammy, I couldn't press on the gas to get going. Brutal.
Oh, God.
And I was 30, man.
Damn.
Sean Quintero asking the question, was that with the Young Guns? No. Young Guns was that was the name of our team growing up. So Sean was part of that team growing up. No, this was when I was playing with a coworker, his team. And it was a pretty high level, man. Those guys could fire the rockets, man.
Jeez.
They were so good. But anyway, that's our show for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. It's a short week. So tomorrow we'll be wrapping up the week. Everyone have a great hump day. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. Hit the like button. Don't forget to share. And look at that. We're at $149.99. Almost at our goal of $199 for the month.
$50 away.
$50 away.
Oh, not even that. Yeah.
And don't forget also, Malachi Branham tomorrow, 2 p.m., Petranco 1604 at the Taco Bell. You can line up at 2 p.m. to meet him, get autographs with him. Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5 and from Locked On Spurs reported that on Ken's 5 today. And also don't forget that the Mike Taylor barbecue cook-off
next week.
You know what I think we should give away? We should give away a couple plates.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? You don't even have to get down. They have the drive-through.
Yeah.
Where you can just pick up your plate. Yeah. It's only $10, dude. $10.
$10.
Yeah. I got to get with Tex-Mex Frank because I got to go and buy my VIP pass so I can go in and take some pictures of you and Chicano Fuerte.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll
be taking a look at some of the celebrities over there because.
Hey, man, Becky, dude, from World Car.
She does it for you.
Yeah.
Kind of for me, too. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.